Okay, let's dive right into this, shall we? Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are unpacking a truly fascinating reflection that pretty much challenges the very foundation of modern hustle culture. We're going to be looking at the insights of Graham Farrer, a horticultural consultant and permaculture designer. He drew some incredible inspiration from Wilf Richards' 2026 book, The Power of Permaculture Principles. And specifically, we're looking at a concept he calls the snail's pace of success. You know, if you've ever felt like you're just running on a treadmill that keeps speeding up and up, you are definitely going to want to pay close attention today. We're going to deconstruct how slowing down isn't just about, taking a break. It's actually a profound strategy for building something that truly lasts. So let's get started.
Think about a hyper-growth weed shooting up overnight. It's fast, it's immediate, right? And honestly, that's kind of how our culture operates. It constantly tells us to move fast and break things, hustle, scale, go big right now. It's this adrenaline-fueled mindset where we're just chasing big ideas at absolute breakneck speeds. But look at what happens to that weed. It dries out, it blows away. When you build a life on a foundation of fast failure and you're moving that quickly, you literally cannot see the wood for the trees. You just don't have the resources to recover when the inevitable failure actually hits. Now, contrast that with an oak tree. It's slow, steady, it spends time developing deep, invisible roots long before it ever pushes upward. Sure, it's not flashy, but it is permanent. The illusion of fast growth lacks a true foundation, but that slow, enduring strength, that is what actually survives the storm. Graham's own personal evolution is literally a perfect example of this shift. Back in the year 2012, he was living life at absolute full throttle. He genuinely thought that to be successful, he just had to think big and move incredibly fast. But all that led to was absolute burnout wreckage. It was a complete crash. But then came week 22. That was his turning point where he deliberately hit the brakes. He started applying what we'll explore in just a second, the 3-2-1 action plan, and it completely altered his trajectory. Fast forward to the year 2026, he's now an intentional designer. And here's the key. He isn't just incidentally going slower, he is intentionally capping his speed. He understands now that slow and steady doesn't just win the race, it ensures the race is actually worth running in the first place.
So how do we actually pull off that deliberate slowdown without sacrificing our success? Well, it all comes down to mapping your flow state. When we face a massive, daunting task, high challenge, low initial skill, our stress hormones inevitably spike. We hit this state of intense anxiety. So how do we get out of that anxiety and into a nice, manageable flow? Wilf Richards teaches the strategy of starting small and learning from change, which Graham actively applies as the backdoor strategy. Imagine Graham needing to capture drone aerial imagery for a project. He doesn't start by bidding on some massive multi-site corporate contract. No way, that would cause overwhelming anxiety. Instead, he finds a tiny backdoor micro step. He just sets up his drone for a very small, highly specific, totally manageable site survey, just to test his action plan. By breaking that intimidating task into a tiny microstep, the stress hormones drop and genuine flow can actually begin. And when we apply these small and slow systems across different areas of life, the resilience you build is just immediate. Take his web design and social media work, for instance. Graham encourages his clients to build local trust first. Just forget trying to go viral globally right out of the gate. That viral fame, that's the hypergrowth weed. Building local trust is the oak tree. He also runs a PC repair business, which he intentionally keeps as a human-scale intensive system. He purposely avoids the massive shop fronts or having a giant fleet of company vehicles. Why? Because smallness is his strength. Smaller systems are vastly more resilient. They're affordable, they're tightly controlled, and they completely prevent that anxiety of being hopelessly overextended. This small-scale, intensive approach is exactly what protects him from ever repeating that burnout wreckage he experienced back in 2012. Okay, so how do you actually do this in your own life? The crucial tool here is the 3-2-1 action plan. Step 1 is the ethical filter. This is a vital pace check based on permaculture ethics. Earth care. Are your small-scale solutions minimizing your footprint? People care. Are you actually allowing yourself times of rest to lower your blood pressure and put the brakes on constant busyness? And fair shares? Are you placing limits on your own greed for speed so that your growth remains ethical? Then we move to step 2, which is the principle application. This is where you apply that backdoor rule to your environment. Zone 0 is your ambition. Take an anxious task and break it into a much slower, tiny step today. Zone 1 is your landscape. Don't try to reorganize your entire office all at once. Use the backdoor rule. Just get one single file folder perfectly organized. Perfection in just one tiny square meter of your garden. And then finally, step 3, the immediate yield, 10 minutes of blatant idleness. There is a really profound realization at the heart of this entire philosophy. Idleness is an active design strategy. Just picture Graham for a second, sitting comfortably on a garden bench. He is completely disconnected from his devices. No phone, no emails, no urgent notifications buzzing in his pocket. Just enjoying 10 solid minutes of blatant idleness. It's so easy to feel guilty when we aren't producing something every single second of our day. We're sort of conditioned that way. But this completely flips that script. By choosing to go slowly, by taking a pondering walk, idleness is no longer a failure of productivity. It is a deliberate, necessary choice. It's literally a vital, intentional part of the design. Now, sitting on that garden bench is vital because it totally redefines the concept of yield in permaculture. This moment of slowing down is not laziness. Far from it. It's an active, calculated yield. Look, when we constantly move at a frantic pace, we generate feedback, absolutely, but we are moving way too fast to actually learn anything from it. By pausing, we give ourselves the ultimate yield, the time to reflect, to learn crucial lessons from our own feedback, and most importantly, to create the mental space where your next genuinely good idea actually has the room to emerge. You simply cannot force a great idea while running a marathon sprint. It needs the quiet of a slow walk to find you. And that brings us to the ultimate realization Graham arrives at in 2026. It's simply this: we are no longer chasing a Hollywood movie ending. What a profound and freeing thought, right? He realizes he's no longer just some crank in a machine chasing a dramatic, explosive, high adrenaline finale. The Hollywood ending is a myth. It just keeps us constantly dissatisfied and perpetually rushing toward the next big thing. True abundance isn't about that explosive finale. True abundance is scaled to life. It's built to be manageable. It's built to be sustainable over decades, not days. And because of that, it becomes deeply, deeply satisfying. By choosing small, incremental changes, we are choosing long-term health over short-term thrills. We intentionally cap our speed to ensure that our success is actually built to last. So the question I really want to leave you with today is this: are you ready to slow down? I want you to look closely at the areas in your life where you are trying to be that hyper-growth weed, where you're feeling the anxiety of high challenge and high speed. How can you find the back door? How can you organize just one single file folder today? I really hope this explainer has sparked some curiosity for you about how applying these small and slow permaculture solutions can completely transform your daily grind. Thank you so much for joining me today. And hey, go take 10 minutes for some blatant idleness. For sure, you've earned it.